Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Topic Time with Harrison Young on the middle of December night before blizzard we're going to have. No, thank you very much, but we're going to have a great show tonight. We're going to get it in, and before we get to her, I got an awesome guest here, local bassist, rocker, young lady, and we're going to talk to her. But I got these awesome underwriters to read, not a lot, but we got to read them because they're amazing. So here we go. We got South Shore Trains and More. They're a new one in Pembroke. We got Pembroke Radiator in Pembroke. We got Barnacote Monuments in Middleborough. We got good old Dave's Automotive in Hanson on Route 58. We got the Gun Runner LLC in Middleborough, the one gun store that didn't close when Charlie Baker deemed all the gun stores what's the word I'm looking for? Non-essential, that's the word. We got Bryant's Auto Tire and Service in Middleborough. Yeah, the Gun Runner LLC is in Middleborough also. And we got our old friend Stephen Anthony at Wicked Healthy Natural Foods and Supplements in Kingston. And I want to thank you guys very much. And on that note, now I will introduce this lovely young lady. This is Autumn J. Stiles, or AJ as she sometimes goes by. And Autumn, thanks for coming in and being on my show tonight. The setup was kind of unusual, but and I'm delighted that we worked it out. I guess your dad sent me a friend request. That's Kevin, right?
Yes. He's not my biological father. He's more of like the father figure in my life.
Okay, that's fine. Well, whatever it was. Like I always say, everything happens for a reason. And when he sent me the friend request, and I was delighted to accept it because, you know, I do a lot, I pretty much live my life through Facebook, especially with the show, and I got almost the limit of friends, which is 5,000. I'm up to about 4,980, close, give or take.
Yeah. And
every time somebody sends me a friend request, I always look around and see if there's somebody that looks like that worthy, you know, for a Topic Time interview. Mm-hmm. And I saw your picture on his profile, and I immediately said, let's get her on the show, and here we are. But now we want to find out a little, and that's awesome. So you're a local person, you're a local girl from, you grew up right down the road here,
yep.
Or up the road, we're down the road. And you played in a band, you play a bass guitar.
Yep.
You have a little TikTok file. We're going to look at it about halfway through the show.
Mm-hmm.
But like I do with all my guests, I want to find out what you were like growing up, where you grew up, and how it got you to where you're at now. You're obviously still rather young. Yes. So tell me about that. Where did you grow up? And if you want to bring the associations with Kevin around to discuss, that's fine. But that could be interesting. That's totally up to you. But go ahead. If I have any other questions, I'll fire them in.
Of course. So
okay.
I grew up in Hanson.
Great town.
Born and raised.
Cool.
And I went through high school like any normal kid.
Whitman Hanson?
So I went to South Shore Votech, actually.
Which?
South Shore Votech.
Is that? Oh, okay. That's a parochial school, right?
Yep. So I actually took the auto body class.
Okay.
And
you like working under the hoods of cars, do you?
Yes.
Cool.
It's more or less painting them, but
well, it's anything. I mean, you work with cars. You like four-wheel things, and you move on. And you move with it. I get it.
I grew up in a very mechanically and musically oriented family.
Cool.
So it was either music or mechanics, and I ended up in both.
That's perfect. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot to fall back on in both those categories, which is great.
Yeah.
Do you actually work as a mechanic or paint cars as a sideline, or?
So I personally,
in addition to music?
I personally do not work on cars
okay.
as a sideline. Just because certain happenings, I didn't end up finishing high school.
Right.
I had to take care of other things, but
okay.
I worked all throughout high school. I started working for Acclaim Collectibles, where I actually met Kevin.
Okay.
And worked for Acclaim Collectibles, more or less volunteered, not worked, but volunteered for them for about 3 years.
Okay. What do they do exactly?
So Acclaim Collectibles is like this really fun, almost like a comic book store, except you find everything from Teddy Ruxpins and Gremlins to old video games going all the way back to Atari, working systems like that.
Okay.
It was just the nerd aspect.
Where are they located?
So unfortunately,
one location, or?
So unfortunately, because of all the COVID,
yes.
We were in Hanson,
okay.
But they ended up shutting down because of COVID. We weren't able to make enough to keep the store up and running. But I'm sure that my buddy Matt still does stuff up on eBay or posts on Facebook every now and again.
Okay, cool.
So,
well, that's pretty awesome. So, when you do the collectibles, where did you before the virus hit? Where did you get them? Like online?
So we wouldn't buy
in person, or?
online. So we actually had this thing called We Buy Wednesdays.
Okay.
So people would bring in their stuff. They
Yep.
would bring in their old records. They would bring in their old record players. They'd bring in everything.
Okay.
That, you know, pretty much one man's trash is another man's treasure.
Through that.
Yep. So we would either consign it or we'd just buy it outright depending on what it was. And
Wow.
we ended up getting so much incredible stuff.
I bet you did.
It was insane.
Well, you still have it, right?
I still have photos. He has everything, Matt.
Okay.
He still has everything in his basement, and he still has everything in his house.
Okay.
You know, he's still posting up everything and keeping everybody up to date.
Cool. All right. Now, so tell me about your musical inclinations. How did that start?
So that actually started when I was a very small child.
Okay.
I was about, I don't know, 6 years old.
Okay.
And my uncle had actually bought me my first guitar.
Would that be Pat?
No. So my uncle, his name is Adam. It's my actual
Okay.
my actual family.
Got it.
Pat's more like my brother.
Okay, I got you.
But
Okay.
my uncle bought me my first guitar when I was about 6.
Okay.
And I picked that up for a little bit, started playing. It ended up just sitting, you know, collecting
Getting jiggy with
dust
it.
after a while.
Yeah.
And sold that one and bought,
So you were
A
already playing the
bass.
guitar at 6, you're saying, right?
Yeah.
Wow. That's incredible.
yeah, because I would sit, and I remember sitting there with my grandfather or sitting there with my uncle, and my uncle would be babysitting me, and we'd watch Stevie Ray Vaughan documentaries,
Okay.
or we'd sit and listen to.
You always loved the tunes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, cool.
I am very diverse in music in itself.
Yeah, you're not only diverse, knowledgeable, and enjoy and an aficionado of it as well.
It's my passion.
It is your passion. I get it. Now the reason, you know, why I asked about Pat. Is Pat Kevin's brother?
Pat is actually Kevin's son.
Son. So here's the reason I asked about Pat. Pat and I were talking on Facebook yesterday because if you've ever seen any of my Facebook posts, I love music too. So what I
yeah.
often do is I'll take lyrics from a song that I like, either from the current era or some.
Oh yeah, and he just comes up like that
Right.
with the band.
Right. Well, no, but he'll mention like this exactly. So I posted these lyrics to the song called "Fox on the Run" by the band Sweet that was done in 1975 because I love watching music videos on my computer.
Oh yeah.
Well, Sweet is still around. They're the four British guys that started in the mid '70s, and here they are all these years later, 45 years later, they're still doing tunes. So
Oh, yeah.
what I love doing is that I play that song "Fox on the Run" on my computer the original time when they did it back in '75. And then they did it, and then 41 years later in 2016, they were doing a show at an outdoor venue on a frigid, cold night, and they were playing it the same four guys 41 years later. So I was telling Pat, it
awesome.
was like watching a time machine, watching them in 1975, these young, long-haired, British dudes, and then these older guys with, some still had long hair, but they all looked, obviously 41 years. And you haven't even lived you've lived just about half that long. It ages you, believe me. But, that's what makes it fun. That's why I enjoy it. That's why we were talking last night about it. So I know that he and Kevin are associated. I didn't know that he was Kevin's son.
Yep.
Okay, that's great. So have you performed with them at all in music?
So
Any of them?
I've sat and had a couple of jam sessions with both
Okay.
Kevin and Pat.
Right, okay.
We've actually sat in Pat's room together,
Okay.
all just listening to music and playing whatever song came on.
Cool. That's great.
So-
No, any particular type of, you just like all the rock and roll from, you mentioned Stevie Ray Vaughan, but I'm thinking
Yes.
like even the heavy metal, the softer stuff,
So
the disco.
we would play like hair metal, anything from Motley Crue to Kiss.
Okay.
We would play newer stuff like Avenged Sevenfold and Rob Zombie and
Okay.
Stuff like that. So we had a very big array of what we played.
I got you.
And we've actually tried to make our own little riffs to a couple of newer songs.
Cool. Have you written any music yourself?
So I have a few lyrics.
Okay.
I've never actually gotten anything music-wise behind them.
Okay.
Lyrics are just easier for me to come up with because I did a lot of poetry growing up. So
Cool. Do you still write poetry?
yes.
Cool. Regularly?
Every now and again, when I actually feel my creative juices flowing and I know I'm not going to get writer's block.
Right. That's the best time to do it. Are you currently enrolled in school anywhere, college or trade school or anything?
Currently not, no.
Okay.
With all the happenings.
Yeah, I
and
know. Well,
Not,
you were enrolled. I mean, do you have any? Did you go to college at all, or are you planning to?
I'm planning to.
Do you have
yes,
any place in mind?
I was thinking maybe Porter and Chester, or at least, UTI.
You're not sure yet, though.
But I'm not sure
Right.
because I visited both those colleges while I was in high school,
Okay.
and they seemed like a good fit for me just because of how I learn.
Right.
So.
All right. Well, we'll see on that. I mean, the vaccines are. We're going to get through this,
Oh yeah.
and we, we're doing okay right now as best
Yep.
we can under these circumstances.
My family's done good.
You're right. Exactly.
So,
Mine is too. My
that's
parents are
always
still
good.
with me, and they're in their 80s now. So we're getting,
That's awesome.
we're moving mountains, as they say.
Oh yeah.
Okay, well, in terms of like music, now you told me before you were in some bands, but you're not anymore.
Yes.
Right. Okay. But do you perform? But now you have your bass guitar,
Yes.
and you're pretty much going solo with that right now. Obviously, there's nothing you
Yes.
can really do under the circumstances. You're still in isolation.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pretty much.
Is that the only guitar you ever played? You never played an acoustic guitar or anything else?
No, I own an acoustic. I also have a ukulele. I have an electric guitar. And
Okay.
my 5-string and 4-string bass.
Wow. Okay, but it's just you. It's just you. It's like you're almost a one. You're almost a 1-for-5 woman band there.
Pretty much.
Got it. Okay. All right. Well, but don't the Pat and Kevin you don't jam with you don't jam music with them anymore for now, or because of the virus, or
Just because of the virus, I haven't really been, going over to their house too much.
Okay.
People in my house are way too high risk for me to.
I understand. You got to be careful.
Yep.
All right.
always.
Well, guess what? We're halfway through the show. We're gonna look at a little TikTok clip of yours. So,
right.
without further ado, check it out, and we'll be right back. Oh, that was great. Tell me about it.
So, I just felt like picking up my bass one day, and it was with the first one that I put on TikTok, and
Cool.
it just kind of skyrocketed from there. So on my original account, which is where it was from, I had over 34K followers before I lost
How
it.
many?
34K.
34,000?
Yes.
Wow.
I had 34,000, and TikTok ended up
I know. I
banning my account, unfortunately.
I think
so
the president had something to do with that.
I've been working on getting my following back. I'm up to, almost 600.
Okay, you'll get
From-
it back.
Yeah, I'm working on it. So hopefully the show
Yeah, the show
Well-
definitely is going to help.
helped me get it out there.
Of course, that's
Find
the
out-
idea. That's what
Find
we do
all
here.
my little Barbie metalheads.
Okay, right. Okay, that's awesome. Okay, now have you ever, I asked this to other people. I asked everybody this question that does entertainment. Aside from music, have you done anything else? Have you ever done modeling? Have you ever done acting?
So I have always been told that I could model.
You've always been which?
I've always been told that I could model.
That's why I'm asking.
I never actually had the confidence to get into it,
Okay.
just because of my piercings and the way I do my hair and like
Well,
certain
what?
things.
I'm looking at you and I can see like a punky chick type model.
Yeah,
And I don't
you
mean,
know-
I mean that's a cool thing for you.
Yeah.
I mean, I noticed that when you get that little gothic look there. That one picture there with your, I don't know, one of the pictures that you had where you had like that jacket. That looked,
yeah, my
like
leather
maybe
jacket.
It wasn't that one, but even that jacket you were in there, it almost looks like you.
Yeah.
I mean, you have a smile on your face, which almost offsets what you would look like if you didn't. Then you look like one of the devil's disciples
Yeah.
if you didn't have a smile, and that's good. I mean,
it's funny because I can look so mean in pictures, but once you meet me, I'm the sweetest thing.
you are. I mean, I knew that just looking at it, even from your pictures from Facebook.
Yeah.
If I thought you were scary, if I thought you were scary, I'd still want you on as a guest, but for a different reason. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's one reason you might want to look into it eventually. What about
yeah.
acting? You ever done that?
So I did a little bit in like middle school.
Okay.
like,
What?
little,
Play acting and plays,
Yeah,
theater?
little bit of middle school plays.
Okay.
I kind of transfer that over to my TikTok now.
Okay.
So there are certain sounds that you can use on TikTok and you just kind of act them out, lip sync them almost.
Okay. I've never done TikTok, so I don't know how that works, but I have seen I've seen some stuff, including what you just showed us, and it's interesting.
Oh yeah.
But except for Facebook and YouTube, I don't really know how to operate independent of that when it comes to putting videos online.
Oh yeah.
But I'm getting better at it.
I feel like that's this day and age's new
Oh, it is.
launch pad.
It
It's
absolutely
just
is.
knowing how to work the internet and knowing how to work media.
Yeah. Okay. No, I mean that seems to be the deal we're in right now.
Oh yeah.
Obviously. Okay. Now, do you work? Now, I asked you before if you work on. You don't work on cars or do anything else like?
No, so sometimes I'll help my friend Dan paint houses.
Paint houses.
Yes.
Cool.
Yes. Sometimes I'll help him do that. Other times I'll help my mom, make wreaths and stuff.
Okay.
So we do what we can
Yeah.
as of right now.
Right.
I used to work at Walmart, believe it or not.
Why not? Why wouldn't I believe it? I could see you working at Walmart.
Most people couldn't. It was so funny because I used to work up at the Halifax Walmart, and people.
Is it still Halifax Walmart? Is that on 106?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. I didn't even know they had a Walmart in Halifax.
Yep.
Okay, maybe it's near Stop and Shop. There must be.
Yep.
Okay, that's
It is.
106.
Yep.
Okay, well I can also see you working as a cashier somewhere too. I mean, you have a look it's not a unique look. It's just
No, I've just been told that I'm way too unique to be sitting behind a service desk.
oh,
But
you
I-
are.
So
Well, have you, now along the lines of music, have you ever done your own music video before at all, or thought about it?
I have thought about doing my own music videos. I've been asked to be in a couple of music videos.
Turned it down.
It wasn't that I turned it down. Me and the person actually had a falling out, unfortunately.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I used to help him with his band and, do a couple of bass lines here and there for him, but
Okay.
just ended up stop being friends.
Oh, well, that's too bad. Well, if I were you, I would keeping my mind open to doing one though,
Oh, yeah.
and that includes either playing a song yourself that you wrote, and having other people. I mean, you're sure you have a pretty good. If you had that many followers, if you had 34,000 followers.
Oh, yeah.
My hunch is you could probably find some people to help act it out. Maybe put something on Craigslist and say, hey, we got this really cool music video if anyone wants to be in it.
Yeah.
And now, do you have any experience at all with video editing? It sounds to me like you know how to run the internet pretty well from your end.
I do.
Okay.
We got a little bit of video editing out of when I was in Votech. They had exploratory things, so
Okay.
you went through different shops. I ended up having to go through graphic design.
Okay.
And so they kind of taught you a little bit about splicing and doing certain things to make it look nice and
Okay.
how to take pictures and use certain filters. And
So you've done that then. And what have you edited? Just curious. Anything?
so I have a couple of landscape pictures that I've taken.
Okay.
A couple of pictures that I've taken of my friend and his dog, and
Okay.
just kind of, playing around with it.
Oh, I understand. That's how you start.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I know editing is not something it's not like riding a bike. You learn to do it once and you got it down. You got to keep doing it.
Oh yeah.
Otherwise, you lose the knack.
Mm-hmm.
I know because when I started doing Topic Time 10 years ago, and I do a lot of shows on the road at that time, I was the one who was supposed to do the editing, and I'd always have trouble with it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just, I am not a tech. I'm only a talent, and I always worried that in moving on to bringing Topic Time to new venues might cause a problem, but it hasn't because other people that have worked with me since I moved the show have been great. So it makes it much easier for me to do what I do, which is incredible. But I always admire people that do editing because that's something that without editing you'd have nothing.
Oh yeah.
In this day and age.
And there are times where you can screw up and you can't get it back.
I know, that's true.
I've done that one too many times.
Okay, well now you're still pretty young. What do you like? Say we're looking down the line a few years. You got any plans for the future?
So I'm hoping that with, all the music stuff, it actually takes off the way that I want it to. It
Right.
takes getting into that one good band, or it's, having that one good song out that's gonna make you
it's gonna rock
skyrocket.
the world. I know.
So just waiting for that moment.
Well, I mean, I'm looking at you and I can see you're not somebody that waits. I mean, you're somebody that you don't need to wait around. You're better off making it happen yourself.
Oh yeah.
Now, I had a girl on last week named what was her name? MEYK. She's a comedian. Or it was 2 weeks. I think it was 2 weeks ago, actually. Yeah, that's when it was. Now, I told her she's going out to Chicago in January
Oh, that's
to
awesome.
work Join Second City TV. She's 18. And you know the old saying, get your foot in the door. I told her, kick the door down so they can't slam it in your face.
Oh, yeah.
No, I'm telling you the same thing. So basically, if try to do as much as you can on your own before teaming up with other people. Show them what you got. I mean, you got the look. You certainly got the attitude, and you got the brains, and you just got to apply it as best you can. You obviously you have skills that come in handy when it comes to editing.
I always say practice just takes time, and
That's right.
once I know I'm good, there will be no stopping me.
I know. I know. So I understand you're pretty friendly with Steve and Anthony that run Good Wicked Healthy, the health food store in Kingston.
Yes.
Well, maybe they could hook you up. They've hooked me up. They've gotten me a lot of guests. So that's why I gave them an underwrite tonight. Sometimes they've gotten me people at the last minute.
Oh, yeah.
At least 4 times in the last 2 years that other people couldn't make it in for whatever reason.
Yeah.
But they're also they know a lot of people that are in music too. You might want to talk to them, see if maybe there's somebody in a band that they know that you could hook up with and do music or create a video with.
Definitely.
They're gonna certainly watch the show, and and when they see me encouraging you to talk to them, I'm sure they're gonna be thrilled.
Oh, yeah.
But this is the advice I'm giving you based on the people I know. In terms of what you can do for yourself, that's totally up. That's the ball is in your court right now.
Oh, yeah.
To be as cliche-ish as I can, obviously, but nevertheless, that does apply here. Okay.
That it does.
Right. So obviously, let me see. Are you currently working on any musical projects today at all, or?
So I have a song that I've been working on for almost the past month.
Okay. That's pretty current.
Yes.
Okay.
So I've just been trying to get it perfect.
No, I know.
Just trying to get the lyrics down, get at least a solid bass line, if anything.
Yep.
Even if I'm just sitting in my room playing around.
Right. Okay. Well, and you like to do poetry, which is I love doing poetry too. And when I was 19, I created my very first book of poetry.
Really?
A little pamphlet of poetry I did in 1978.
That's really
It
cool.
wasn't. I was actually still 18 because my birthday's in October, as is yours, as we covered before. But we had it out in the summer, so I still hadn't turned 19 yet. Yeah, I did pretty well. I mean, I had it printed by Sir Speedy, and then in the 90s I created my own book of short stories, which is
that's
pretty
awesome.
wild. So I love writing too. I'm a writer at heart, going back many decades now.
Oh, yeah.
So I know how important writing is behind all. Writing is actually the key to everything. If you can write something, successful, interesting, you can always find a way to convert it into something, that's more multifaceted than what maybe was intended to be. And you obviously have a good, you have a good mind for stuff like this. Now, have you ever done? I'm just wondering, have you ever? I don't suppose you'd ever try like stand-up comedy yourself, would you?
So I'm really just not that funny. I have good one-liners, but I'm just not that funny.
Okay. No, I know. I'm thinking, but I can see you almost doing a presentation of some kind, whether it be, to like an award ceremony, at a local music show, or anything that's pertinent to what you do. Okay. Well, guess what? We're down to the final 5 minutes of the show.
All right.
We always make it go by fast. So what I want you
yeah.
to, we always do, because people, the time goes like that.
Oh, yeah.
I want you to look at the camera, give shouts out to people that are going to see the show, and then condense them, because I know a lot of people are going to watch it, and then we'll wrap the show up as we began it with the music,
Yep.
my music. So go ahead.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for all your support. Love you all.
Okay, well that was very nice. Now the other thing I always ask every guest is that if you had a good time on my show, I want you to reach out to people that that might be that might be good, that might be interesting as guests as well. I'm sure there are people that you know in town or just online or whatever. Because I get a lot of my guests through word of mouth, and that's again, like I tell everybody, 98% through Facebook, about 2% through the people that I already get from Facebook, which is basically word of mouth.
Oh, yeah.
So I hope you did have fun with me tonight.
I did.
I
I had a lot of fun. I'll be sure to keep an eye out for anybody who would.
What's that?
I'll be sure to keep an eye out for any
Anybody.
one
I
of my
appreciate
friends.
that. Okay. So is there anything else you want to mention that that you might have forgotten about before we wrap it up that you're working on? And if not, that's fine, and we'll wrap it up.
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Well, you did a very good job with me tonight. I'm so glad you came in.
Thank you for having me.
I see a lot of big things for you in the future. You're still young. You got a lot of, you got a lot of cool things, projects to make happen. I see, 10 years down the line, you'll have done things that you never would have thought possible. And then 10 years after that, same thing over and over, and on until whenever.
Oh yeah.
You'll leave your mark on the world. I can definitely tell.
10 years ago when I started YouTube, I didn't think that
There you go.
I would get
34,000 followers before
yeah,
you're 21.
I
that's-
didn't think I'd get to that. So.
I know, exactly. I know, and here you are.
Yeah.
So I rest my case. That's good to go. All right. Well, Autumn, great job. Now you go by Autumn. Autumn, you want to just say? I'm curious what the J stands for. Is it Jane?
Yes.
Okay.
It's Autumn Jane.
Autumn Jane. Got it. Okay. Well, you did, like I said, great job with me tonight. So you ready to wrap it up like we began it?
Yep.
Okay. Hope the boombox works without a quirk like it did the first time. But if
Fingers
not, we'll
crossed.
just hit it till it does. Okay, folks. Thanks for watching Topic Time. More great episodes to follow. See you next time. Take care. All right. Well, how was it?